Panini, I miss seeing you. Where's your face? I love seeing you. Hi, everybody. Nice to meet you, Tara. Happy
Hey guys.
Wednesday.
Hi.
There you
Hi.
are, Panini. Nice to see you.
I see you
Hi,
too.
Joy. Hi, Molly. Hi, Joy.
Hi.
Happy Wednesday to everyone. Thanks for joining. I'll give a little shout out to our new operations assistant, Tara. This is her first Lunch and Learn. Yay!
Oh, yay.
Welcome.
Yay.
Thank you.
We're so excited to have you as on our team. And you're going to love our Lunch and Learns. We have a really special guest, Pam. Thanks, Pam, for being here.
Thank you.
I'll go ahead and get started. So a few Zoom rules for our people who are new and returning. And if you haven't been here for a while, first, please mute yourself when you're not speaking. We recommend speaker view for presentation. Video sharing is optional, though we love to see your smiling faces, of course. Please type all of your questions and comments into the chat. We love engaging with you and hearing from you. I'll be monitoring the chat throughout the whole presentation, so I would be happy to read your comments for you. We will also have a Q&A at the end with Pam, so you feel free to unmute yourself during that time and ask her a question or type your comment into the chat and I'll read it for you. So a couple updates from Autism Tree since March of last year during shelter in place, after shelter in place. Since then, we have reached over 558,000 people through our social media channels, all of our channels. This is across all of our platforms, Facebook, Instagram. So thank you to everybody who has been following us through this journey of COVID and still staying in touch with our community. It means so much to us that you're following us and sharing our posts. Our posts have been sharing over 951 times. So thanks for sharing with your friends and family. We love expanding our community to be nationwide in different states. We are based out of San Diego County, but we love hearing from people outside. And now that we're able to do all these virtual events, we can reach a lot more families too. So thanks to everyone who's been sharing. We have now added 354 videos to our YouTube channel since last March. So please subscribe today if you haven't yet. We post on a weekly basis of new content that for our kids and families on what to do during shelter in place. We also 298 of those videos have been posted since March of last year. So a huge majority of those videos we've shared with through our social media platforms. Huge thank you to all of our volunteers and community partners, program directors. Everybody stepped up together to surround our kids and families with love during this time and create tips and activities on what they can do at home. And it's really amazing. So please check out our YouTube if you haven't yet. We have a couple video series and different playlists on our YouTube channel. One of those is our Reading with Autism Tree series, which we started last year during April, which is Autism Awareness Month. So we have added 105 Reading with Autism Tree videos since then. It reached over 44,000 people just through that series of our volunteers reading children's books for our kids. And also since then, we've provided 234 virtual events to date since last March. I believe March 28th was our first one last year. So I cannot believe it's been a year of COVID. And we also have continued to do this. So 17 events are coming up between now and the end of April. We offer 19 of our 20 programs virtually on Zoom. So anybody is welcome. And if you want to get more involved, please feel free to reach out to me directly. I'd be happy to plug you in. So without further ado, this is our 44th Lunch and Learn, and I'll pass it over to Dana Hoff, who will be introducing our special guest speaker today.
Hi, everybody. So nice to see you. I guess I'm not on the right screen over here. Sorry. Okay. Can you see me now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know why I was having trouble. We are doing it different today than we normally do with our format for two reasons. One is because our speaker, Pam, is new to Autism Tree. We've really only had one or two Zoom calls before this. I include Molly, who's on here. Hi, Molly. On the relationship. And before that, I know Lisa had met with you. And so there's a relationship at Autism Tree, but I decided to take this time to share a huge announcement before Pam gets started. Normally, Pam, I show pictures from the past with stuff we've done together. So if you come back in the future, we'll have that. But this is a really, really exciting announcement. Conrad Previs, for those of you who aren't familiar with him, he is a huge philanthropist who's actually not originally from San Diego, but you will see his name if you haven't already. It'll stand out to you in the coming weeks when you're driving along Highway 5, or if you're up in La Jolla near the golf course. There's like 1,000 research labs up there over by where we do our annual neuroscience conference, and Conrad's name is on that whole research facility with Malin Burnham and Denny Sanford. And it's just, it's where I've always wanted to be in terms of the epicenter of neuroscience in San Diego, and having a center where if your child is not developing, then you know where to go, like a flagship, and that it would be all integrated with research. So this is sort of like everything in terms of Conrad passed away, and this is the first time they're doing inaugural grants in his passing. And so they have a new, I don't know if it's all new, but a whole new structure of the way everything's working. So it's just a huge blessing, one that I can't find like all the words for, to be part of this, because it's really where I want Autism Tree to have always been, and where we're striving to go. We've always had this plan to have a place called One Place, which you could actually go to, and you would be able to get the navigation that you need for your child if you don't know where to go, and also the services that children need for early intervention, like OT, speech, ABA, all of that. So the grant is for $20,000, but it's certainly going to help us with all of our other donors too, to have this sort of recognition and support for the work that we're doing. And it is my hope that when we break ground and we start really doing a capital campaign, that Conrad Previs Foundation will definitely be a big supporter in that. He's just done incredible things for San Diego. You can see all the different areas, the focus areas they have, but for this particular grant, we could fall under more than one, but for this particular grant, it's for our youth development, which I know all of you have been together since this pandemic, and we have not missed really much time together in terms of every week we're coming together and we're learning and we're growing during this this just incredible world pandemic. And so it's just something I really wanted to celebrate with you. Every week I look forward to these lunch and learns. Every week I grow with you from it, and it's just with just incredible reverence and gratitude I share this with you, that we get to be part of this Conrad Previs Foundation grant. So I hope that you will kind of keep it on your radar, and also I'm planting a seed with you to keep it in your prayers. This is just the first grant cycle, and I'm sure we're going to keep applying for more in the future. Out of 121 grants, you see the highlighted marks. Autism Tree was in the press release with only 6 other foundations. You can see it highlighted right there. And it's also just fantastic for us that we can use it for any of our programs to keep our programs going. And as Rebecca did such a great job sharing, we have 18 virtual events coming up. And so it's just, I really feel extraordinarily proud of everyone on here for doing such a beautiful job pivoting and working together. And I think this question is really a great question for us to contemplate together. This is what we do every week, Pam, is we kind of start with a question, And I would love to ask you if you want to answer this one. You don't have any pressure, but if you'd like to answer it, I'd love to include you. And then every week we send up a follow-up email with your Lunch and Learn and the responses to questions from everyone on the call today. And we keep doing that because it gets the open rate's really good. Sometimes people come on and we read the e-news that miss the Lunch and Learn. So the question is, what has been your biggest life lesson this last full year of COVID-19 and shelter in place?
It's a really good question. I would be happy to answer that and just kind of reflect. I think for me, the biggest thing that I have learned is to, when I pass by a stranger, a neighbor, anyone, ask how they are doing, communicate. We have connected with so many people just in our immediate block that I never had even given a head nod to before because everyone's so busy or their head's in a phone. We all were supporting each other. If I was going to the grocery store, I would ask them if they needed anything, vice versa. It has been, especially for moms working from home with little ones, the village that we've created in the community has been a game changer, a lifesaver. So that has been my biggest lesson, is to really look around and communicate with people and just reach out a helping hand and ask just a simple question, how are you doing? It's amazing how like the people in my community who are older and single and alone, I mean, they will talk for half an hour when I just say, how are you? You know, and they need that. And I just think it's so important for all of us to have each other's backs in that way.
I love it. Well, I'm going to turn it over to you today, Pam, and just
Okay.
say thank you so much for making time to be here. And I don't know, Rebecca, if you want to read in a couple of what people typed in. We are already starting to have people be interactive, Pam, and it's a great group today. And thank you, everyone, for being here and learning with Pam today. And I'm looking forward to learning from her today, too. Thank you again, Pam.
Thank you.
Yeah, Pam, you can go ahead and, oh, I love Karen. Thanks for entering your answer to the question. Everybody, you can answer your own. Please type it in the chat. Karen said, even though you're in the midst of a storm, keep celebrating and keep praying for others. That's so Karen. Karen is our HPF program director of ministry. So she keeps the faith alive for all of our kids and families. It doesn't matter what faith or background you have. She has been a really strong person, especially now for all of our families. Tara, thank you for answering. She says, something I learned was to be more present in the moment and find joy in the small, beautiful things we can experience each day.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I can't believe Tara wrote that. We haven't met in person yet, Tara, because I was going to say be more present too, because it allows you the time and space to see and count your blessings. If you're not present, a lot of times you don't take the time to count and see the blessings that are happening right in front of you every day. So I love that you typed that in. It spurred my thought that I was on the same track as you.
Oh, I love that so much. That's great.
Thank you, everyone. Pam, go ahead and take it away, and I'll include the rest in the recap email.
Okay, great. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Pam Garrity, and I am the parent representative and community liaison for Triton Support Services. My background is in special education. I started my career as a special ed teacher on the East Coast. And then I got the itch to move to San Diego. And when I arrived here, I jumped right into a startup company at the time that grew and evolved into a successful ABA company. I am now thrilled to be a part of Triton's team and continue to work with families and help students grow. I'm so appreciative to be invited to speak with all of you today and share some cool communication ideas with you during these unusual times of distancing from our relatives. First, I'm going to share some information with you about something I use every day called the Facebook portal. And then at the end, I'll share with you what Triton Support Services offers and dive more into our programs. A little while back, Dana, Rebecca, and myself were discussing how difficult it has been not being able to see family on a regular basis over the past year. And during the times of the pandemic. So my family is on the East Coast, and I have a 20-month-old daughter. So I'm sure, like most people, we had to cancel all of our holiday travels to see our different families. And I mentioned to Dina and Rebecca that we used this neat communication tool called the Facebook portal, and they thought it would be a fun idea to share with others because they had never heard of it. And the more I talk about it with people, I get the same look like, what is that? So I wanted to share the joy we get using it with others. I was just joking with the ladies that I should contact Facebook that I'm talking about it because I'm promoting it, but they have no idea. Anyway, so this is what it looks like. This is the portal. It's just basically a little box that you plug in, and it's a screen you either plug in or you stream. You can stream it through your television, and you can call anyone else who has a portal or just Facebook. It will call through their messenger is what it goes through. It actually does feel like you are sitting in the room with them. I think the best part about it is it's hands-free. I really struggle with FaceTime because the phone is in one hand, the baby's in the other. She's trying to grab the phone. I always end up dropping it. So the poor people on the other end of the phone call, it's just chaotic. And it typically ends in my daughter having a meltdown because she wants to hold the phone. So every morning, Gigi, my daughter, and I, we have breakfast with my parents. And very important, coffee on the East Coast. We've been doing it every day since she was born. So they haven't missed a beat of her growing up. She loves seeing them every day and interacting with them. And they have their own little like inside jokes and connections that have formed. It's just really special time. Just to give you an example, my dad, he typically sits on our calls with his arms crossed, just, you know, when he's comfortable. And one day she just started crossing her arms like him. And now whenever he gets on the portal with her, she crosses her arms and they laugh hysterically. So these little bonds that they have created are just, you know, so special for the in-between moments of when we see each other in person. They are just, for me, more natural than them being on the phone with each other. They don't get to see the facial expressions. Like the social component for me is so huge because she during the lockdown, she wasn't getting that social interaction. So we were able to call my nieces and my nephew and really get that kid interaction, and they can play games on it. Plus, my parents, they got to physically see her grow up. Like I was able to show them when she started crawling, walking, and now running. The camera zooms in whenever there's a certain movement. So when she started walking, the camera would follow her around the room too. And my brother, all of my aunts and uncles have gotten portals. It's been fun getting them that for like Christmas gifts and stuff. So we do a lot of group calls. You know, if it's somebody's birthday, we get everybody on there. And it's just, I have found it to be much smoother and easier to use, especially with kids, because it can get so chaotic than Zoom so far. The screen doesn't freeze, there's no lag in the sound, and it just seems to be a more clear picture. I love being able to see my niece and nephew while they're having like a dance contest, having dinner, they play games. They can show me any new toys they've gotten. They just got a puppy, you know, they can show me the puppy. And it feels like we just stay, you know, closer and more bonded that way than on a phone call. It has a lot of fun features. For example, you can leave video messages for each other. If somebody doesn't answer, you can lock the screen so the kids don't just randomly start calling people. I learned that the hard way. It syncs with your Facebook contacts, so it's super easy to find people, and it'll send you reminders like when it's somebody's birthday or important events coming up. And if you have your hands full, I'm going to hold it up just to show you. You can say your desired task. So for example, I'm going to say, hey, portal, call Mark McCullough.
Calling Mark McCullough.
This is my dad. See if he answers. It's got his little picture there. Every time Gigi says it, she said, "Granddad truck." Oh, Dad. Hi, guys. Can you see them? Hi. So I was just sharing with others what a blessing the portal has been for us across the miles, especially, during the pandemic. Wouldn't you say so?
Right. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So just to be real quick here, what would you say, like, oh, my dad's got his arms crossed. I was just telling him about how Gigi does that. Can you just tell them one of your favorite parts about the portal?
Well, seeing my granddaughter every morning was my favorite part. I mean,
Yeah.
we have breakfast with Gigi.
That's right. And your daughter.
Oh, yeah, she's there too.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, guys. I just wanted to do a little demo on how it worked.
Oh, okay, great.
All right.
Okay.
Love you. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning. Okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye. So that's how easy it is. And it's super fun. You can also use most apps on there. So like when I'm working, I'll listen to Pandora. You can check the weather, the news, and also your photos can come up. You can do different photo sharing. And for gamers, like a lot of our teens that we work with, there's a gaming app that is really cool. But my family's favorite thus far is they have a story time app. And you can access it to all types of stories for children, different ages, to read aloud with you and your family members. So the stories are interactive. That moving camera that I had mentioned earlier is super fun because let's say you're reading Goldilocks and the Three Bears, excuse me, the camera will zoom in and make Granddad's face Goldilocks. And the kids think it is hilarious. It is hilarious. This lets my nieces and nephew also practice their reading while they read stories to Gigi, and she really looks forward to it. So it's a cool quality moment, that they get to share while practicing their reading skills too. So Dana and Rebecca and I thought it would be a neat insider tip for families to have if they're experiencing the same issues with connecting with their families and friends virtually like we were. It's been a fun resource. So I just wanted to share that. And I know, I don't think it was that expensive. I know we got like a 2-for deal. I don't know if Facebook has done anything fun pricing wise for the pandemic, but I just wanted to share that with you guys. So, and now I just wanted to dive into Triton support services and what we can offer for students and parents. Did anybody have any questions about the portal before I dive in to Triton?
Pam, where are your parents at? Where
They're
do they
in
live?
Delaware.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I used to go to the train station there to take the train to Washington, D.C. to see Garrett.
Oh,
I
nice.
know where they are.
Yep. Yeah. So we are actually, everybody is vaccinated. So we are leaving on Saturday to see them. So we are just
Oh,
so excited.
congratulations. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's been so long.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tara, for typing in. She did a little research and she found the pricing
Oh.
on the portal. It's
Nice.
$130 and $180, and there are no monthly fees.
Yep. That sounds about right.
So where did you purchase it? Is it like?
We actually just did it online. I saw a commercial for it back when lockdown just started, and they were running a special where it was 2 for the price of 1. So we split it with my parents. And that's how we got it a little bit more affordable. So they do run specials.
Is it easy to set up? Like, do you have to have?
You just plug it in because I'm not very tech savvy. And then you have to sign in under your Facebook, and then it pulls up all of your contacts, and then you can download any apps that you want to add on there.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's fun. It's really fun. And I think my whole family looks forward to it. Like my parents get such a kick out of it.
I love that you can play games on it for the kids.
Mhm.
Makes
Yeah,
it engaging.
definitely.
If anybody has any other questions, you can type it in the chat too. Tara says, it does look like they have specials often. Worth looking into.
Perfect. Perfect. Thanks, Tara.
You can go ahead and start talking about Triton.
Absolutely. So Triton, we offer a unique multi-sensory evaluation that uses the lens of different disciplines to provide a comprehensive overview of a student's academic and developmental abilities. So our team administers the most up-to-date assessments and uses their skilled observations to determine each student's baselines. And then from there, we identify strengths and areas of improvement, as well as appropriate next steps to help each child flourish. We offer ongoing educational therapy services. And with the services, the family has access. We do free parent coaching with that and activities year round. And we are launching a live Facebook parent huddle group to provide parents with resources and support. They can join us, ask questions live like today that they might have. And these will be on Thursdays at noon, beginning April 8th. And we're going to run those weekly. So I'm really excited to be a part of that and hear more feedback from families. With the multi-sensory approach, we want to also ensure we are looking at a student's social, emotional, and physical needs. So this includes assessments and observations that consider how a student interacts with the world around them from a sensory perspective. So meaning their ability to absorb the world's happenings around them, think, busy classrooms, loud noises versus super quiet, busy days, unstructured time versus structured time, preferred versus non-preferred task, et cetera. So we're really looking for empowered parents and helping them chart their course and close any learning gaps. To learn more about Triton Support Services, you can go to our website. It's tritonsupportservices.com and check us out. You can click on the Let's Connect button and I'll give you a call personally from there once I have your information to learn more about the areas of support that you're looking for, whether you be a parent or an affiliate. I can brainstorm with you. We can set up an evaluation, whatever areas you're looking for. So that's pretty much Triton in a nutshell.
Thanks, Pam. So you're a parent representative, correct?
Yes.
So explain to us a little bit more about what that role is at Triton. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So I just hear the parents out. So from the first, what we call a care and connect call, I want to hear what areas they're looking for that are, lacking, that need improvement in their child's educational path. So from there, I will personally walk them through the process of setting up the evaluation. From after the evaluation, we do a consultation and set up ongoing services. And then I do a monthly parent coaching meeting with each client family to ensure how is it going? Do we need to adjust anything? Have any behaviors come up at home or in the community that we're not seeing in the center that you need support with? I then gather the resources for the families and support them with that. Sometimes parents will call me and we really need a social club, or I really need a horseback riding lesson, whatever it might be, providing them with those resources. And then the 5 topics that we cover for our parent activities, our parent huddle that we rotate between are regression, attention, sensory, and social and emotional. So we do tips and lessons, activities around those components, just to give parents more tools for their toolbox that they can use. And that's really what the parent representative role is, giving tools to parents that they can implement.
Great. And we talked a little bit about before, during the pre-call, before everyone joined, that your clinic is based in Rancho Bernardo, and
Right.
you're focusing mostly on educational therapy workshops.
Yes, so we are focused on the multisensory educational therapy. Our current space is in Rancho Bernardo, but we are right now looking to expand into smaller satellite offices around the county. So I will keep you in the loop with that. That'll be something you can check our website for. We are currently, it's tricky with COVID touring places, but we are touring some spots that we're interested in. So we are about to, be in a couple different locations. We want to be able to support more families. So that's the goal.
Is in-home therapy an option, or is it on?
It is.
Or okay.
It is an option, absolutely. We're doing a hybrid model right now. Right now, you have to be flexible. So we have the in-home, we have the in the center, and then we have virtual options.
Fantastic. What
Yeah.
other, do you have so you mentioned free workshops for parents.
Yes.
Are those monthly, or do you do other ones that are more often?
We
Or-
actually, that's something like if you join our Facebook group, we'll make announcements of those. Those are something we're getting in the groove with. We were doing them what we would call like parent tips, but now we're doing a more of a parent huddle. So I want to take their questions and get them resources from there and really help shape the programs from their feedback.
It.
Yeah.
Well, if anybody has questions about Triton, please type in the chat. I don't want to backtrack too much, but I saw that John had a question about the portal.
Oh, that's a good question, John.
You let John ask it. If you want, John, you could ask the question.
Yeah, John, you can unmute yourself. We'd love to see your face.
That's why I typed it in the chat, because the question does the portal have a chat? I thought it was appropriate for a chat, not an actual vocalized question.
Yeah, John, that's a great question. I have never used a chat feature on there, but I can look into it. I'm just not, that's not a feature that I've used before.
Okay. It's such a neat tool to use. How many people can log in and use it one time?
That's another good, I haven't ever hit a limit. So we've had my aunts and uncles and my brother, and then my brother's kids with their mom have one too. So we've had a handful of people on there before, and I've never had any limits put on us. But you do get tinier. So I would recommend stay at four different portals.
And what if grandma doesn't have a Facebook? Would she still be able to join?
Well, that was an issue. My husband's mom did not have a Facebook. So she just signed up on her phone. She doesn't have anything on there. We're her only contact, but we can portal her through there.
That's enough of a benefit to just create a profile, I guess.
Yeah, she just wanted to make sure that things were secure.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Yeah.
And thanks, Tara. She put a link to something. Tara, do you want to describe what that link is that you just posted in the chat?
Yes, that link is just supposed to explain some common questions people have to the portal device. When I saw John's message, I was like, oh, there has to be an answer to that, but I didn't find it right away, but I think it might be tucked away deep in this article.
Cool.
You can see why I hired Tara. She's so
she's on it.
I love it. Providing so much value. I'll include the link in the recap email so everybody can see it.
I'm Googling it too, and I couldn't find anything.
Okay. Yeah, I've never seen a chat option on there, so I don't know if I'm just not sure about that.
Maybe there's an app for that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we have a little bit of time, but if it's okay if we end early, I'm just gonna let it be quiet for a minute. So if anybody wants to chime in, you can. And if not, then we'll take a group picture.
Cool. And please feel free to share my email with everybody who's attending. If anybody has questions, they can definitely reach out to me. I'll be happy to get you any additional information.
Thank you, Pam.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if there's no other questions, I love the comments. I'll just read them.
I know. Thank you.
Thanks so much for the great info, Pam. That's from Rima. Jeff Snyder from the East Coast. He says, great job, Pam. Also welcome Tara to the HPF family. I love it.
Nice.
I'll also I'll go back because there are a few people, John and Rima, who answered the question to earlier today, which is, I want to repeat it right. Oh, I think I closed it. But it's, what have you learned? What lesson have you learned at COVID, during this full year of COVID? And Padmini said more family time, which is a perfect, segue to the portal. If you have family that lives far away. Rima says a really fundamental understanding of the need for empathy and gentleness. Oh, very good. Yeah, as we never know what someone is going through. Definitely applies to, Pam, what you said earlier about always just asking how people are. And it really matters, just taking a moment to acknowledge somebody. And that's why we live like this chat. We want to acknowledge you on our social media, on our recap email. Like, we see everyone who's here. So this has been really wonderful. John also says, spending time with the family this past year has been a blessing. There's more to life than working every day. Take time to take care of yourself and those around you. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, and you know what? Since we're like reflecting on a year, if you're on this call and you haven't read a story or been a Lunch and Learn speaker or done an activity, like the on our YouTube site, it's broken down into different channels, and sometimes it's just fun, zany activities. The goal is that they're about 2 to 3, 4 minutes max. But just the reading alone has had over 44,000 views. So I would like you to know from me that if you haven't participated, I feel like I would like to think that this body of work that we've all worked on together during this global pandemic has helped us get illuminated in the greater big picture of San Diego and beyond. Just Jeff being here from the East Coast, and we've had many East Coast speakers and we've had international speakers. And so, we're doing our neuroscience conference virtually this year. And our chairman is just a huge footprint. He has the largest autism lab in the world, and he's from Brazil. So I just share this, that if you haven't done something that is unique to you, I know Padmini wanted to do a vision board, and maybe that's something you'll do. I don't know, Padmini, on a Lunch and Learn or an activity. It's got my attention ever since you brought that up to me. I found when Padmini that my son did, I think in 5th grade. And it's kind of just mind blowing because you had asked me to do one and we haven't done one yet. And I found his, and I'm not kidding you, you guys. I'll have to take a picture of it if we do vision boards and bring it, of Garrett's, because everything he put on there is pretty much his life right now. And that was in 5th grade. It had Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C. I mean, just, it's literally where he's at right now. So it kind of, my husband actually threw it away and then realized, whoa, wait, what is this? This is crazy. And he came and showed me that everything Garrett put is like, he's made it happen. So Padmini, I'm more interested than ever to do something like that. I don't remember myself doing a vision board, but if you have any ideas of things that you want to do during this time, I want you to know I really welcome it. And I would like to say that I think we've all had a piece in making Autism Tree Project Foundation be successful and connected during this last year. And it's something that I hold very dear, and I'm very grateful to each of you and for you doing this today, Pam, and congratulations on your new job. And Molly, I know you're on here, and in 17 years, I've never experienced someone during our year-end campaign, which we break and just focus on raising the money we have to move forward every year. But somehow myself, and I think Rebecca and Lisa, we stopped everything to meet with Molly because she wanted to talk to us about Pam. And I've never met anyone who has such a big advocate in her life, Pam, as you do in Molly.
I count my blessings every day.
I mean, Molly is like, she is just a warrior for you and what you do, and what a gift. So Molly, thank you for introducing me. Everyone else on the team knew Pam, but I took pages and pages of notes about you because of Molly.
Thank you so much for those kind words. Yeah, she has been my mentor and role model for so many years. And it means so much. So coming from you, coming from her, coming from the entire team, thank you.
Yeah, we all wish we had a Molly to like pump up what we do in the world. What's Molly saying, Rebecca? She's typing in some.
she says,
all true in all caps. She's like, she is the best of the best. Her name is Saint Pam for good reason.
She started saying that years ago. It makes me blush still to this day.
Well, I tell you, I don't really have that happen to me. People like making me stop everything I'm doing to talk about somebody else and say they're a saint. So good for you, Pam, that you earned that. I know.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Molly, as always.
Of all the love.
Does anyone have any ideas they want to share? Padmini, do you want to say anything about your vision board that you talked to me about?
Yeah, I mean, vision board is a biggie. I mean, it's like so huge, like the more you go into it. So that's definitely something to do. But I did want to add on to what Pam said, because I came from a different country. So it was like when I came here, I was more surprised to see more cars on the road than the people. And I used to go and talk to people, and people used to be like, oh, why are you talking to me? It's like, you know, so the thing that you said about like talking to strangers. So, I mean, since you started doing that because of the pandemic, are you going to continue doing it? And what will you do if people look at you strangely about it?
Well, to be honest, I have made like the most amazing conversations just in the grocery store, because we know the lines are a little bit of an obstacle right now. Just talking to people. And I mean, it has been so fun. We get laughing. And then my daughter, she just is she's like into blowing kisses. So she does that to strangers a lot. And a lot of people stop and they're like, that just makes my day, you know? So it's been fun. Just those little tiny moments with people, I am holding on to them because it just fills me up. And if people look at me like I'm weird, so be it. I can't do anything about that. But hopefully they'll take it and they'll ask somebody later, you know, hey, how you doing? And hopefully it'll be contagious.
Yeah, that was a great question.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm an avid reader, and I just recently remember Malcolm Gladwell just published a book called Talking with Strangers. And so I'll include the link in the recap email. And I've read the whole study, and Malcolm Gladwell is an amazing author. And so maybe there'll be some useful knowledge in there too.
Very cool. I like that.
Oh, Tara read it and she said it was great.
Awesome. I invite everybody, I know everybody on here is very, very busy, but one of my big blessings during COVID-19 this last year is Dr. Levy's daughter, Danielle Levy, started a book club for Autism Tree. And our desire is not that it's huge at all. I'm just sharing with you how much I love it. And Otto, who runs our typers group, he's an amazing, amazing person if you have not met Otto. He was on the neuroscience panel with Jeff Snyder, and he is trying to break open the world and all doors for typers that are nonverbal. And he kind of now co-hosts the book club with Danielle, and we now have about half people that there are typers, and it's just sort of everything. I love it. It's how our foundation should be, and yet it's not we don't make these type of goals because it has to happen organically, and it's taken a really long time to have that kind of trust. I met Otto when he was first diagnosed, but he's 16 now, and he just went this last weekend with Rebecca and with one of our other teenagers, and was in this program that is like early intervention for autism at work for high schoolers. And so I just want to share with you how much, if you ever have a chance to do our book club, if you like reading, it is completely happened organically. When Lunch and Learn early in COVID, Danielle just started talking. I think we asked like, what are you doing during COVID? And this was like within the first few months. And she said, I'm reading. And she really meant it. Like she's reading the great literature. She doesn't read like bubblegum candy stuff. It's like a lecture. It's like you're in a college lecture. So it's very stimulating and it's like a college lecture. But what's so beautiful is the #1 fan of Danielle, besides myself, is Otto, who runs our typers group. And he's gotten other typers to come now. So I just wanted to tell you, if you're a reader, I welcome you to come. It's been something that's meant a lot to me on too many levels to list.
Yeah, calling all bookworms. Our next one is this Saturday.
And Otto chose the book and it's hysterical. I asked because these guys, every book has been so deep and like 600 pages. One of them had 1,000 chapters and I'd actually already met that author and read it, but it's really deep stuff. And I just said, can we like have a book that's kind of funny? And Otto picked David Sedaris and the book is Calypso. It's hilarious. I'm having so much fun reading this book, but yeah, you don't have to finish the book because I know that's not enough time to probably finish it. But if you want to join, it's Saturday at 11, which would be what time yours time, Jeff? That would be what, 11, 12, 1, like 2 o'clock, I think.
3 hours ahead.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, let's do a group picture. And Pam, thank you for being here today.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much.
So now's the time to turn on your camera if you would like to participate in our group picture. I'll do a countdown and ready, big smiles. 1, 2, 3. I love it. Thank you again, Pam, for your time.
Thank you.
So much
You guys
fun.
stay safe and stay well.
You too. Bye,
All right.
everyone. Hope to see
Bye.
you.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.